Babysitters, welcome back. It's Lydia. Happy holidays. As we get into these times, I get so excited because we get to start to see the joy and the excitement in the kids' faces, and family comes around, and it's just a great time to be around kids during this part of the year because they get so excited, which then rubs off on me. And one of the things I like to do with my kids while I babysit is decorate cookies in the month of December. So today I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks on how to decorate cookies with kids to make it a little bit less messy. Because let's be honest, decorating cookies with kids will always be messy, but hopefully with these tips and tricks, it'll be a little easier and less messy. All right, I do not claim to be a baker. So what I use is this cookie mix. Now, this one you have to put the eggs in, the butter, and you mix it together, and then you cut out the cookies. There also is a brand where you can slice it, press it down, and then put your cookie cutter on it. And those, you don't have to deal with mixing it together. But what I usually do is bake the cookies beforehand, and this is because it cuts down on arguments between the kids of who gets to do what. It saves me time. If I were to bake cookies with the kids, we have to make the cookies, cut them out, put them in the oven, wait for it to be baked, let them cool, then decorate them. So this just cuts straight to the point, and let's face it, for the little ones, the decorating is the best part of cookie making, so we just get straight to the point. This also cuts down on safety concerns. If my older ones like to bake and I know that, then absolutely I'll bring everything that I need over to make these cookies. If they like to cut them out, then we'll do that. But for my little kids, I just bake the cookies the night before and then bring them when I go babysitting. Before I even pull out icing and sprinkles and all that fun stuff that they get excited about, we make sure that all the hair is pulled back. If I have some girls, we make sure that the hair's up. Everybody's wearing short sleeves because sleeves get into icing all the time. I've learned that lesson. If I have sleeves, I roll them up, and then everybody washes their hands. And then I set the rules. We talk about how we're not allowed to lick knives. We talk about how we're not allowed to lick a knife and put it back in the icing. We talk about not eating the icing. We talk about not eating a cookie until everybody is done decorating. Then we go ahead and pick out our cookies. And when I do cut out cookies, I only use a few of these cookie cutters. That way it cuts down on some arguments. So there's only a few for them to choose from. And if you're wondering about the heart, I turn it into a Santa, as you can see. And I love doing that every year. So we pick out 2 cookies. I let everybody choose 2 cookies to decorate. One we usually eat right after decorating. The other one I usually let them keep until tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So moving on, I go ahead and get our icing out and our sprinkles and all of our fun stuff. Again, I don't make frosting. I just buy the store-bought stuff. And I buy the white icing because that way we can color it to our own. I know we're not going to use this whole jar, so it could be used at a later date. But what I do is that I will take icing, just enough for the kids to use, because this is why I do the individual cups for each of the kids. It's because if you ever seen a kid decorate cookies, blobs and mounds of icing go on that cookie. Do they eat it later? No, because there's too much icing, too much sprinkles. So what I've learned over the years is that I will separate out just enough icing for them in a cup, and I will then use food coloring to dye the icing what color they want. Now, remember, food coloring stains really bad. So make sure you're very careful with this. This isn't something the kids can do. The older kids can. I mean, some of my kids are learning what colors mix together to make other colors. So if they're older, then I allow them to experiment with it. But if they're younger, I do it myself and just hand it to them. If you don't have these plastic cups or can't find them, you can use muffin tin holders. Although if you mix icing and food coloring in here, you have to be very, very careful because it will bleed through these. So if you're going to mix, I would suggest mixing on a plate. So today I have picked out a Christmas tree and a star. My dad is Jewish and my mom is Christian. So we both do celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. So I'll be decorating my star as a Hanukkah star and my Christmas tree, obviously, as a Christmas tree. But I will go ahead and separate out some icing. And like I said, you do not need a lot, like at all. I can definitely spread that out onto my star. So I'll put that. And I only need a couple colors because what I'm going to decorate it green. I'm going to decorate it blue. So I only need 2 colors. Put that aside. And then later I'll use this cup for sprinkles. But we'll go ahead and, like I said, this stains. You only need a couple drops. You don't want to be overpowering in your icing. So I'm going to go ahead and take a toothpick to mix my colors together. That's another safety hazard, toothpicks. Make sure that you're watching the kids with these if they're going to be using it. And like I said, I separate this out so that I'm limiting them to how much icing they're putting on their cookie so they actually eat it later. And the more you give them, the more they will use. So you could always add more to this cup. You could not always take it away. So there's my green. We're going to go ahead and move on to my blue. If you want a lighter color, don't put as much food coloring in. If you want a darker color blue, then you would put more food coloring in. If you've never done this before, I would suggest doing this with you and your family before going and doing it with kids. That way you have an idea of how things flow and you can learn your own tips and tricks. I mean, a lot of this is me learning through experience, so I do suggest you try it on your own with your family before, or with your friends before actually doing it with kids. So I've got my colors. I'm going to spread it out onto my cookie with a plastic knife. Again, plastic knives, you got to be careful with kids, even though it's plastic. So I'm going to start with my star. And look, even that amount of icing was a lot. Oh no. Okay. Alrighty. See, and I still have icing left over. Put too much in there. Gotta go easier on it next time. Alright. Moving on to my Christmas tree. Oh, I have icing on my finger. Blue and green don't mix well. What I've done in the past, if I just have 2 or 3-year-olds and on their own, then I will help them spread out the icing and then just let them decorate with the sprinkles. But if I have a group of kids, I've done it with about 6 kids before. If there's 2 and 3-year-olds in there watching the older kids icing, be prepared for a mess because you can't tell them they can't do it and have the older kids do it. So, but if they're on their own, I usually just do it for them because they don't know any different. So I've decorated. Again, I still have icing in there that I could have used, but my tree is covered. So less is more, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and put my sprinkles in this cup. You also want to limit sprinkles because, again, you want them to eat the cookie. Okay, so before I get into the decorating of the sprinkles and stuff, if you I don't like going out and buying all this stuff, especially if these families already have decorating stuff. Now, this is all mine because we decorate cookies all the time here. But before you go out and buy this stuff, ask them, hey, I just wanted to bring over cookies to decorate with the kids. What kind of stuff do you have to decorate the cookies? And then if they don't have anything, you can go to the dollar store and buy the stuff too. It's not expensive, but again, if they already have it, don't buy it. So I have sprinkles, different kinds of sprinkles. Oh, oops. So I have red sprinkles, gold sprinkles, I have white little beads, I have colored, and then I have this big thing that's a rotated, you can rotate it and open them. And then they're just like party colors. I also have these gel writing sticks. So there's gel inside these, it's edible. And you just squeeze it out onto your cookie. I don't like the taste of this, so I won't be decorating my cookies with it, but a lot of the kids do, and they like writing things on their cookies. So we have those in all different colors. I also have this decorating icing tube, and this is the color red. So if you don't want to go out and buy icing, or you know that you're only using one color, I would suggest just doing it with this. And again, I would put this in a cup and just let them spread it with a knife, because this can put too much icing on the cookie as well. And then I have mini chocolate chips that I just bought at a store. We use this for other stuff, but they're good for like noses on snowmen and eyes on Santa and stuff like that. So we have chocolate chips as well. But today I'm going to use my pearls for my Jewish star, and then for my Christmas tree I'm going to use these as light bulbs. So let's get into it. I'll decorate my star first. Again, oh, look at me already making the mess. Again, you don't need a lot. Oh, my Christmas tree took one. Oh well, we'll leave it. And then I will just be decorating the star. I'm not a big sprinkle person either, so it'll be very limited to my cookie. So if I'm using all the colors, I put all the colors in one cup. I don't separate them out. So now that I have my Christmas lights on my tree, I'm gonna go ahead and put some ornaments on there. And some of these actually have the option to shake them out, and I'm going to do that. If I have a kid one-on-one, or if I'm working with a kid one-on-one, I will allow them to use a shaker. Perfection. Now, for my tree topper, I'm going to put a little bit of gold on there. Ooh, this one doesn't have a shaker, so I'm actually, instead of dumping it out, because I know I'm not going to use much, I'll just pinch it. And there we go. If you want to add more color to your star, obviously you can put gold flakes on there as well, or red, or whatever. You can decorate these however you want. So here's another tip. If you have younger kids and you know that your sprinklers are gonna hop on over the other cookie, I suggest you doing one cookie on a plate at a time. That way this cookie doesn't get these decorations on them, and this cookie doesn't get these decorations on them, and that way the cookies don't look a mess. So just do one cookie on a plate at a time. Again, I will allow them to eat a cookie after we're done decorating. After everyone's done decorating, we all get to cheers a cookie and all eat at the same time and enjoy our hard work. And then I leave the other cookie for them to show mom and dad. I also take a picture of the cookies to send to mom and dad after are done decorating to show them the kids' work. This is one of my favorite activities to do during December, is to decorate cookies with the kids that I babysit for. They usually know it's coming. My older kids, especially, that I've been doing it with for a couple years, they know it's coming in December. If I'm babysitting them, they usually suspect that I'm bringing cookies to decorate. These tips and tricks will help you keep things a little less messy. Again, decorating cookies with kids is always going to be messy, but hopefully these tips has helped you really rein in the mess. If you are new here, thanks for joining me. I do want to say that this is not all that I do on my channel. I have tips and tricks on how to become a better babysitter, anything from warming up a bottle to decorating cookies. But videos like these, or my game videos or craft videos, this will help you become a better babysitter, because you'll be called back or asked back. If the parents see you doing things with their kids instead of just plopping them in front of the TV, and the kids like that you're engaging with them, and that you are a fun babysitter, you will be asked back. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you guys have any questions, once again, in the comment section below. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video.